Thank you very much. I'm going to defer my questions to the end on that. I would recognize Senator Fetterman if you have questions now.
So I touched on that earlier, and now for me, I think we can all hear, we would agree that the GAO is a very, very vital part of and a mission for our government overall, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And now, it's really important, I think we believe, that we can trust and know there's no political motivations based on the reports and the kinds of information that you relay, correct?
Absolutely. We pride ourselves on being nonpartisan, independent, objective, fact-based.
Yeah, and for me, regardless, yes, I'm a Democrat, but I don't care whether it's a Democratic administration or Republican. You know, it's absolutely important that we have an umpire that can make sure what comes from your department, you know, it's whether it's good or bad politically for whatever reason, that we have to trust that must be true. And any kinds of attempts that would degrade that or to influence that or to create effectively an arm of a political party, I think is dangerous, and it undermines, I think, that critical mission. Do you would agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's why the Comptroller General has a 15-year appointment. It's one of the longest in the government, and it's there to help insulate against political influence and to ensure independence. And so it's critical to be able to do that. Plus, GAO, the Comptroller General, cannot be removed by the President, only by impeachment by the Congress. That further ensures independence in our auditing of the executive branch agencies.
That's good. So what would you have any parting advice for the person that's next going to fill your job after you retire?
Absolutely. First thing, we need a person in there that can fulfill the nonpartisan role as much as humanly possible, to work with both sides of the aisle to gain the trust and respect of the Congress. We're in the auditing business, but we're also in the relationship business. I try to meet with majority and minority leaders of all the committees. We do work for 90% of the standing committees of the Congress. I try to, talk to them on a consistent basis. I meet with leaders of the executive branch agencies to build relationships. Just because we're independent and in the legislative branch doesn't mean we shouldn't have good constructive engagement with the executive branch agencies. We rely on them to implement our recommendations. Thirdly, I would tell a person coming in, trust the people in the GAO. We have well-developed best practices of our products. We issue over 600 reports a year in a very public arena, and those reports are all meet certain quality standards, and we have just great people, and I'm very pleased about that. So build relationships in the Congress, the agencies, be a good spokesperson, know how to manage a multidisciplinary workforce, and listen to your people.
I have one last question. You've been for 19 years, correct?
As Comptroller General, about 18, yeah.
Okay. So what would you describe your single proudest accomplishments? Like, it's like if you could just say one thing, when you walk away, because this was the top one.
I think stepping up during the global financial crisis. I became acting Comptroller General in March 2008. We helped implement and oversee and provide real-time auditing to help the country at that time. And we're on the precipice of a depression potentially. The $700 billion package that unfroze the credit markets, the GAO provided real-time auditing from day one that law was passed and it reported publicly every 60 days. As a result, we just finished the net cost of that program to stave off the global financial crisis was $31 billion, not 700. It's about only 400 and some was used, but the banks repaid the money. Automakers, I testified when GM, Ford, and Chrysler came to get loans to stave off bankruptcy. It was a very tenuous moment in our country. And so it started GAO providing real-time auditing for Congress when Congress needed to take extraordinary measures. This followed in the Great Recession with the stimulus. most recently the pandemic. We reviewed all $4.6 trillion of assistance, issued over 240 reports, 400 some recommendations. So that, to me, that Congress can rely on GAO when it needs it the most, when we have national emergencies. I'm very proud of that.
I get that. Metaphorically, you effectively were providing the directions and the information. They're trying to land a plane right now in distress, correct? That could just land smooth or it could crash. And now they're able to trust that coming from there. And I think effectively looking back, that was successful. Is that a state?
Yes. It was probably, I call it the most successful but hated program in American history because people didn't like bailing out Wall Street, but we didn't really have an option as a country at that point. As Chairman Bernanke at the Federal Reserve, Hank Paulson at Secretary of Treasury, and then Secretary Geithner that came in, I thought they all did a good job. And we worked in partnership with them. We were independent. Our first report had 10 recommendations. One, that they be more transparent about what the banks were doing with the money that they were given. But we worked together, and as a result, we helped the country get out of a very, very difficult moment.
I think people forget what kind of how dangerous not our economy and the world economy and that. So so critical what you performed and do that during that time. So I thank you for that, and it reminds everybody just how critical your role is. So again, thank you. No more.
Senator Moreno.